Okay, I'm recovering from COVID, so there might be some instances of skipping because I'm gonna try to edit out the coughing, but my voice still sounds pretty nasally. But please excuse that. But this is my sketchbook from that I finished earlier this year, and I'm gonna kind of flip through it and talk about, I guess, the thought processes behind it, and hopefully that might be interesting or helpful for some people. It's a Moleskine that I was given as a gift. I spoke at someone's art camp, and they I guess, or not their art camp. I spoke to their class, and they gifted this to me. And I've never had an official Moleskine before, so I was pretty excited until I learned that Moleskine paper is probably one of the worst papers for art out there. But I tried to not let that stop me. So I'm not trying to diss Moleskine, but there are better sketchbooks out there. So don't feel like you have to buy a Moleskine just to fit in or go with the crowd, like, or just for if you're journaling, if you're just writing, it's fine. But if you're trying to use art medium or anything like that, things are gonna get a little wrinkly. But in a way, it's kind of cool. There's something satisfying about seeing the wrinkles. But yeah, I got this sketchbook in, I think, 2016. I started it backwards because I'm left-handed, and I'm a little edgy in the way that I was like, oh, I'm gonna do my sketchbooks backwards like a left-handed person should. And so I started off trying to do art studies. It's not like writing down the parts of the body is really gonna help me. As nice as I thought it looked at the time. But the joint studies are helpful. Some edgy quotes. Going through some time. Yeah, and then I did some anatomy studies of the bone work, because I think I've always done like muscle studies but not bones. So I was curious to kind of get that practice in. Obviously I did not finish. Yeah, I think this was like the last big spread for bones before I kind of gave up on that. Yeah, I like never finished the rib cage. Bones are hard. Literally. And so I go back to being normal, and I flip back over, and I don't think I start this off until 2019, so that was just a few years ago. I had gotten into, oh yeah, so this is 9. So I had gotten into Fire Emblem Three Houses, so you're going to be seeing a ton of that. Yeah, and then I had some prompt lists for Wumptober. I put out a Wumptober zine in 2019 and 2020, and I couldn't fulfill 2021. I just didn't have the mojo for it. But maybe this year. we'll see what happens. Some pen studies. We went to go see The Joker. It's not my kind of movie. I didn't enjoy it as much. These are, I used to have a Patreon. I'm still thinking about changing it up, but these used to be like, well, this was like merch, and then this was like a Patreon postcard. Sometimes I go onto Pixiv. There's a, not kind of like how Clip Studio Paint has a materials or an asset website. Pixiv has a reference website where you can go and look at tutorials that other users have made. And so this one was, I think, about like suit creases and shading. And so I wrote down the URL just as a reference, but also so people don't think I'm stealing. Because I'm not. I'm just very grateful for the resources people have provided, because suits are also kind of a challenge. There was another postcard that I did in the past. This was talking about compositions, so filling up kind of, I guess, the space, I think. It's in Japanese, so I'm kind of winging that. But I was like practicing some of the compositions that they provided, and I have the Pixiv ID there. I'm going to try to add that into the description. I guess if you want to check it out, you're going to have to, I think, have a Pixiv account. It shouldn't be too hard. Another postcard. This one is talking about ways to make a like pose more interesting, because like you can have a person just standing there, you can have them with their arm behind their back. No shade, because I used to do that too, but there are like interesting, it's always about the triangle. There's always a triangle kind of dynamic to get like an interesting pose or perspective, and so it's always worth experimenting. And then this one was, I think, hoodie studies. I had an Osomatsu phase, and so when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, I really should learn how to draw hoodies properly. And so I colored it in with the Osomatsu colors. This was, I think, extra. Oh, these were ideas for October, another postcard. Some old One Piece stickers that I did. Sometimes I like to sketch out outfits and then I don't wear them. I don't know why. Tombow marker tryouts. These are from Anato-May NYC 2019, before COVID came and wrecked everything. This Danny Phantom stickers are mine, but this is Kata drew that for me, and then I got this from, I think, Palema, and then I don't know if if they still have that handle, but the Decluttering stickers were pretty cute. These stickers, I don't think that they will shine very much in this lighting, but they were supposed to be like glitter clear stickers, and I wanted to test them out, or how, I guess, opaque they show against a dark background. This is my OC from high school. His name is Witch Hunter. He is cursed to have a permanent smile, so he has to emote through his eyes. So the kind of the kind of mindset that I go into is when I draw his expressions, I'm like, if you cover up his mouth, his expressions are a little bit more kind of obvious, but no matter what, he has to smile. So whether he's like making, like, if he's yelling, or if he's got, like, if he's grimacing or snarling, it's gonna come out in a really janky looking smile, but a smile nonetheless. And this is a bookmark bonus that I did. I think it was just for like store orders. Some concepts for Korean animal hybrids, kind of like centaurs. Katsukan. Yeah, I was given this by a Byleth, and I don't know who she was. She just ran up and handed it to me because I was cosplaying Felix. Yeah, but there were a bunch of really cool people walking around, and Katsukan 2020 was like the last fun time before shit got really crazy. Memo pad that I made. This was like samples of the wrapping paper that I used back then. This wrapping paper got really expensive really fast. I thought it was cool at the time because it was like black and it's like embossed gold. And at the time it wasn't that expensive. But when I went back and looked at it, it was like $300. So I still have like a sample of the roll left. I still have some left, but I'm too scared to use it now because I'm a hoarder by nature and I'm always worried about scarcity. So, haha. More outfit sketches. I actually think I did wear this outfit a couple times to anime MIC. And then these are sketches for an idea for a thigh-high zine, like Absolute Territory, but Fire Emblem guys, because a lot of their armor is thigh-high. And then I didn't do anything about it for 2 years. But funnily enough, September, there's an account called Finish What You Started, I think on Twitter. And I wanted to finish, like for my project, for that challenge, I wanted to finish the thigh-high zine. So I'm currently working on that. I'm way farther than I ever was before. So that's already a good step forward. I just gotta keep finishing it, I guess. Hopefully it'll be ready by November. More sketches for that. This was a memo pad that I did for a little creature version of Dimitri. He's just a little lint ball, and he eats pizza. I have some mosaic tape that I found, and I was like, oh, okay, play around with that. I think I was trying to kill off a gold marker that I had. It seemed like it was on its last legs, and then it suddenly wasn't, so I was just mark making as usual. I forgot that my sister gave me a pack of Posca pens, and I didn't know what they were at the time. I didn't know how to use them. And then I had bought my own pack, I think, from Jet Pens, and so I was like, oh, I should learn how to use these. And like, I think it was kind of like not an easy experience to use, because like I'm used to like just black pens, brush pens, things that are easy to use. But with these pens, if you go too hard or if you're too reckless, it'll splatter, and I don't like that. It's nice in a controlled environment, but I got pink paint, like pink marker paint all over my disc mat. So, and then I bought some washi tape. I love the individual type of rolls. You can find them all the time in Japan, and but then coming back to the States, the only place to get stuff like this is online, considering like where we live. Room setup, I have luckily, thankfully, I have a space that I can use as an office, and I wanted to try to like maximize the space that I have right now, though it seems a little crowded, so I'm gonna try to redo that. This was a postcard that I was meaning to use for the high zine, and then I didn't do anything for 2 years, so I had passed this around at Katsucon with the kind of incentive, because people usually do like, oh, come find me if you want a postcard, and I was like, that's fun, but I was thinking like, oh, well, there's so many really good fanfic writers in the Fire Emblem fandom, and I was like, okay, if you'd like a free postcard, and it's free, leave a comment recently, I guess, on like someone's fic, and then like show me the fic, because I also like to read fanfiction. So I was like, I get to see new fanfic potentially, and then I get to see the people leaving comments. But the thing is, most of the people who came to get the postcard were fanfic writers themselves, and I'm like, oh god, you don't have to, you already did the work, you wrote the fic, please just take the postcard, please. But yeah, when I finish the zine, the postcard, I still have a handful, so I will include them with the zine. Sorry to all the people who got it for free anyway. Oops. This is, but in this lighting you can't really see that. These were sticker ideas for like Beach Sylvain, I think, and Planner Sylvain stickers, so just like daily do's, but then I don't know what getting chastised is supposed to do. Yeah, I like to sketch things out by hand first before I put them in, before I draw them digitally. It helps me get like a feel for the motion, I guess. That's hard to explain. Oh yeah, I was looking at a bike and then never bought one. But you know, sometimes procrastinating pays off, because I got a bike for free from my dad's boss. He was just gonna get rid of his bikes, and we were like, oh, we'll take them. So yeah, free bikes. Baby Sylvain stickers, and Beach Sylvain. I was trying to get a feel for his goofy little swimsuit, so I like to draw each of the assets by hand, so that way I can kind of understand the like what is going on with his outfit. These are little like potential plushy Sylvains that I never went through on. Yep, so there's a Beach Sylvain sticker, so it's kind of like the progress, and then I guess the product. These are also supposed to be hollow, but you can't really see because it's natural lighting. Sorry. I've got the drink, but I also got the Baja Blast, the Haba Blubbo. I love Baja Blast, but Mountain Dew Pitch Black is actually my favorite one besides the original green. Anything else I'm usually really picky about. This is a note because I bought Keem's Key. I bought their I think B grade Demi-Claude dolls. They're super cute. I think they were B grade because, well, I think Claude's horns too. Both of them are facing that way, but it's still super cute. So I'm like, it's fine. I tried to change my fountain pen and ink got everywhere. So I was like, kind of like picking it up with a napkin or a tissue, and then I was like, oh wait, these blot stands are really cool. And so I like channeled my Ivy art energy and I just taped it in. Anything that kind of looks like an interesting mark making, I'm just like, it's mine now. Yep, Baby Sylvain stickers, Planner Sylvain stickers. I don't sell these anymore. I think I sold out in 2021. These sticker sheets were pretty big. It was a 2-pack. And then I actually have, I think, maybe 7 Baby Sylvains left. It's such a self-indulgent idea. I'm very grateful that people like bought the Baby Sylvain sticker sheets to begin with. I'm very grateful. You guys are great. Because it's so self-indulgent. We don't see anything about him as a baby. We only hear that he got pushed in a well as a kid by his older brother.
Oh, and then I've made a pillow Sylvain, and I wanted to create like instructions for like how to take care of him. So I was kind of testing out like a postcard design to like, you know, don't pull on his hair, you have to squish his head because he might come out deformed, stuff like that. More Posca pen playing around. I had no idea what I'm doing. Mark making with my brush pen, and then I got some crayon, or no, these are some old crayon pencils that I've had for a very long time. And yeah, I wanted to like play with them because I'd had them for years as, you know, hoarding art supplies, yay. And yeah, I don't use them as much as I should, but hopefully that'll change. Pen drawings. This is a bonus card that I had made for like to pass as like a freebie for people who ordered from my store. So this drawing was actually the first one. It's Dimitri being emo, but it's like the Justice Arcana, the sword and the scales, and then this one, he's not as emo anymore. These are hand puppet ideas that I was going to do. You can see it was so long ago. This was, I think, right after making the pillow vein, and I wanted to make hand puppets. And I was trying to get an idea for what would be easy to sew for the manufacturers. Because I think some people just like throw their sketches at the poor manufacturers, and the manufacturers have to kind of like parse the idea themselves, which is really unfortunate because like they're doing a lot of work, or like how to like make a simple design, but I still never made them, so joke's on me. So these are all like class stuff that I paid for, so don't want to make the class people mad by showing the information. It's like a note. I did a 30 days of decluttering challenge, I think in 2010, or not 2010, 2021, I think. And I was trying to get rid of something, and they sent me a note with some guides and stuff, and some fabric samples to make masks with the shirt scraps that I was gonna have. This is just a piece of paper from a bookmark that I was given, and I thought that the information was interesting, so I wanted to keep it. This class was free, so I don't think I need to block it out. It was just this is when you know, people were being super racist and attacking Asian people everywhere. And I was like, oh shit, I need to learn how to, I guess, bystander intervention in case I see that shit on my street. Thankfully, none of that has happened. But yeah, bystander intervention. Oh yeah, Hollaback. That's the program. But yeah, these were supposed to be felt projects. I wanted to like sew little Claude and Sylvain things, and I did not get very far on that. I don't sew very well, or I don't think I have like the current experience to sew it confidently. So my first attempt at Sylvain came out kind of wonky, but I will try again. Felt is not expensive, so I'll just keep trying. Hopefully it will come out really cute. Hopefully. Oh, this is the finished postcard for the pillow vein. There's another side to it. It's the thank you note, but the most important part was just like, you know, don't, he's gonna come out rumply, don't pull on his hair. If his blush fades, please feel free to use your makeup and give him more blush. Some sketches. This is another freebie card. I had wrapping paper for like paper to wrap orders with, and it was like oranges, and I wanted to kind of have a correlating freebie card, and so it's just the dudes picking oranges. These are sketches for a Claude Vane birthday, or Claude's birthday mostly, but Claude and Sylvain's birthday are like, I think a month apart. Like Claude is in July and Sylvain is in June, I think. And so I wanted to make like something birthday related. I used to do that a lot more when I had a job and free time, but yeah, not anymore. And then just some free drawing, more class stuff. And this was more sketches for the thigh high zine. I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna finish the thigh high zine. You can see this is a whole year later, and then I didn't. Some of these sketches I have recycled into the current zine. but not all of them. I did Anato-May back in, I think 2018. I did Anato-May where I was just copying anatomical drawings from the magazines and books that I had on hand. And so, yeah, but I just used those as reference, and I filled like a page every day, or tried to. Yeah, so the magazines, I will try to list them. I think you can still find them on the store in like the magazine section at Barnes and Noble. Some of them I bought, and some of them I was given by my sister. But yeah, I think it's all about being able to just draw the shapes. But I also had kind of an easier time because I have a wide flat pencil lead, so it kind of helps me draw like thick lines and thin lines, or like I guess more like line variation. So that helped, especially for drawings like this. But yeah, I do these practices, and then like 6 months later I forget everything. And I don't mean to. It's just that just shows how much you have to practice to keep this stuff up. Unless you draw this every single day normally, but I don't. Yeah, so I think I made it to the end. And my proportions were very good for a while, and then I slowly forgot, and now my characters are like twigs again. This was a brochure that came with some soap that my friend from Montreal gave me, and the soap smelled really good, so I was like, I'm going to preserve it in my sketchbook. So yeah, if you're curious about some soaps, check them out, I guess. This is some more class stuff that I paid for, so I should probably hide that. These are some sketches to 2 different Claude Vane projects. One was the Claude Vane zine, and the other is an anthology project that I'm working on with friends. I'm thinking we're supposed to be revealing it soon, so I'm hoping it's okay for me to talk about it. Almost don't get mad at me, please. These are sketches for tie-up charms that I never finished. They're finished, I just never made them because I wasn't happy with them. But I'm wondering if I can just revamp them into stickers or something. Because the art came out kind of too chibi. And so for tie-up charms, they're kind of like Ahoy. And so to have like that it can be fun, but I feel like people would probably want less cheap and more actual characters. I don't know. I can give it another go, I guess. And yeah. These, I was trying to look up Posca pen exercises, and I saw someone had like copied a video, or not, like they took a video from TikTok and they posted it on Twitter, and they were talking about like, oh, here's how to do a water effect. And I was like, oh shit, I should do that. And then I tried it. I probably obliterated all of the ink, all of the paint in my blue marker, but I have to get out of the scarcity mindset because we grew up not with a lot of money, so most of my meager allowance was spent on buying like micron pens. Or comic books. So there was like that, you wanted to have the materials that had the most usage, and so stuff like Posca pens didn't exist for me back in the like 20-30 years ago, but it's just the material scarcity. I'm scared of using things up, even though now I don't have to fear using them up because like we have the internet now. If I run out of a blue Posca pen, I can just buy a new one. In the past, that wasn't as easy because we didn't have Amazon Prime or jet pens, but now I can. So I'm trying to get out of that by using my materials more. More Claude Vane sketches. It was like a Howells kind of thing. His story had to deal with magic, so I wanted to come up with a style that was kind of I don't want to call it untethered. It's just like a more uncontrolled style or brush kind of. It was hard to explain, but I wanted it to kind of. I want my if I'm drawing fan art for the anthology, I want the art to kind of match the fic. This one is from Jenna's fic, and it involves Sylvain in a cough brothel, and Claude uses him to relay information. I hope I'm allowed to talk about this, but the fic is really good, and I'm hoping that the project is announced by the time. Hopefully. But yeah, I think it's okay. I think it's okay. A free-handed Tsukishima drawing that I did at a cafe. There's just a bunch of movie tickets, but I didn't want to like cover up every single thing. Yeah, this was like kind of a whip from the magic fic that I was talking about earlier, Howl's Magic. It was like kind of just me messing around with markers and pens and stuff, so it looks kind of goofy, but it's fun. I am not very great at choosing colors or mixing colors, and so for me, I'm taking baby steps, so please do not judge me. I guess print ideas. I got into watching Haikyuu season 4. In the beginning, it was a little boring because it's just like a training camp arc. But when they finally actually go into the tournament and they're facing off against the Mia twins, I remember I like noticed that I was like sweating because I was like really excited watching. I was like, oh my gosh, like the animation, the music, like it's so good, the voice acting, oh my god. So I wanted to, I was like, oh, I really want to draw the Mia twins because I love, they're so funny, especially because it's, what is it, Mamoru Miyano is, Atsumu. Yeah, Mamoru Miyano is Atsumu, and the guy who does Osamu, I think he doesn't have many roles as far as I know, but he also did a really good job. I love the dynamic. And Haikyuu has a very soft spot in my heart. This was, I did a Sylvain Dakimakura, and I wanted to do a bonus postcard. Because if it's like a big item, I usually try to do like a small bonus, because people are paying very big money. It always makes me feel very like grateful and humbled, but I also like, oh please let me add something to this. You're already paying so much, please let me just give you this little freebie, please. Print ideas. I got into Genshin Impact around this time, and it became a huge black hole in my life. I think October I just lost my, actually let me see. Well, these are pasted from other sketchbooks. This was from Nandascon. This was from con in Colorado, and someone mistook my Sylvain Dakimakura for Kakyoin from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I have not watched Stardust Crusader, so I don't know much about him besides the cherries. So I drew the cherries. This is my OC. She doesn't actually have a name. She's just like a social media OC, I guess. Not social media. She's just media. She has a cell phone for a face. Or for eyes. Then LaFay, she is a witch. Her hair can turn into snakes. She has an affinity with snakes. And they have, I forgot the snake bite tattoos. For shame. This one was 2021 too. Some drawings on the plane. It was dark as shit, and I had a brush pen and I wanted to draw. So the fact that I was able to draw this is already pretty impressive. But yeah, don't draw in the dark. You're gonna ruin your eyes. It may seem like it's fun, but you don't want to ruin your eyes. Your eyes don't get any better, they only get worse. This is another OC in the works. Her name is Shadisha. She has a scorpion aesthetic to rival LaFay's snake aesthetic. I think Shadisha also has a sister, Nikisha, but I haven't really come up with like a solid design that I'm pleased with. But for now, it's just Shadisha and LaFay, and then the other knuckleheads that I've drawn. Media OC. I draw in other sketchbooks and then I cut and paste because why not? Sometimes I feel more free on other types of paper. This Moleskine paper is too smooth. So this is I think a sheet from like a graphite, something Fontaine. Okay, so I think, my battery died and I had to wait an entire day for it to charge, so I gotta be more, I probably need to buy more batteries. Everyone on YouTube is like, buy more batteries for your camera, and I'm like, it can't be that bad, and then I learned that, it is that bad. But yeah, I think I left off on talking about the shirts that I wanted to make for the things that my mom said in Korean. I just noticed, the Jukutagaji Beoyo. My mom, it's something that my brother-in-law said about how, I think he was like tired of
of school or whatever, and she was like, you learn until you die. And I was like, how do you say that in Korean? And so she told me. And so I'm like, I really want to put that on like on a pouch or something, or just like a sticker. I haven't been in school in a while, but I still think it's really funny. And these are, I think I was trying to get used to sketching out merch for, okay, so yeah, it's like 10:20. So I fell into Genshin, and it became a black hole for almost an entire month, and that's all I did was just like eat, sleep, play Genshin. It was bad. I'd never been so possessed by a game before. It's all like, even in my Hobonichi Techo, it's just gaps. It's just like I woke up at this time, I ate, and then I went to bed after playing Genshin, like, or I just didn't go to bed. Like, it was bad. When they say that Genshin is really bad for folks with ADHD, like, they weren't lying. That game is terrible if you have ADHD. And I think it's even worse for the poor kids who get into it now, because there's so much content that you feel like you absolutely have to catch up on. So pace yourself. It's doesn't, maybe it doesn't make sense coming from me, or maybe I don't have the right to say it, but pace yourself. But yeah, I was the character that got me into Genshin was Child, or Tatalia. I thought he was boring at first in like 2021, I think in December, the 1.1, I think it was 1.1, the New Star Approaches or something like that, where he shows up and then his like Foul Legacy transformation happens, and I was like, oh, who's this boring little white boy? And it wasn't until people, or like someone revealed the lore about why he's got like the little dead fish eyes, and I was like, oh shit, I love an edgy little bastard who fell into the abyss. So yeah, I started playing I think I started a file the day before my birthday, and I got a migraine so bad that I put the game away for I think like 2 months. Because I have a curved 27-inch monitor, and I was playing at full screen, and the movement of the camera was so jarring that I got super sick from it, and I had to put the game away for a few months. And then I went back into it when his banner came out, and I was like, I have to know, I have to be able to get him. But yeah, so I was trying to sketch out other characters, like Kaya, Diluc, and Zhongli, Media OC. Every time I draw her, ever since like I was in college, I would always write a warning and a welcome, or a welcome and a warning, and that kind of just is the phrase that hangs around her. And then some tickets, some extra drawings that I cut and pasted, some sketches. Yeah, I drew this at Emerald City Comic Con in 2021, I think, and I was using a .003 micron pen, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm getting back into it, and then I dropped it, and it like did a line over his face, and so I just gave up. I was like, I can't believe I've done this. So I just taped it to the sketchbook as is. Yeah, so this was like a commission sample, I think, but this was kind of old. Yeah, so 2021. This one's kind of old, so since it's outdated, I just put it in my sketchbook. There was someone, because I like haiku, I also like reading fan fiction, and there was I think it's Sakusa and Atsumu, and someone came by with I think they bought something from me. I can't remember, but they wrote like a whole list of like fanfics that I should read because I like Terminal Curiosity. And they're like, oh, if you like that fic, then you should read these, and you should look at these artists. And I was like, oh, sweet, thanks. I don't know who did the memo pad. I don't think it has a name. But yeah, I was very grateful. I have not actually read these yet, but I've been meaning, that's why I put them there, so that I would do it. This is an OC of an idea, because I'm mixed, Asian and white. For me, it was kind of like, and I'm also really into horoscopes, like both Western or Gregorian and like the Chinese horoscope. So I was like, oh, what if you combine them, like a Leo monkey. My Gregorian, I think it's Gregorian, no, maybe not Gregorian. My Western horoscope is Leo, and then my Asian horoscope is monkey. And so I was like, oh, if you just created a like hybrid character. So this is like who I came up with. Yeah, and then I think some like a mixture of like OC Genshin sketches. I like to hold on to my pens and markers that are dying, and I kind of just like, I love the texture of it, so I just like use them up on scrap pages like this.
I can't be the only one. Merch ideas from 2021. Still trying to parse like how to get the shirt drawn out. Yeah. I think memo pads and more shirt designs. That actually applies to me now that I play Genshin, or that I play a game that has dailies. I think there's something like that in other games too. Movie tickets. I was trying to come up with a postcard design for the Claude Vein project, and I just couldn't get an idea drawing it digitally or sketching it digitally, so I drew it by hand. And I ended up not using the drawing that this sketch resulted in, because it came out too brown. But I think the sketch that I came out with afterwards, I guess we'll see it in the future. Child Genshin Impact with old dying markers. Oops. I should probably... Actually, no, I think this is free. I think this class was free. Kata drew Child Genshin Impact for the first time, and I asked her if I could keep the drawing. This is also during, I think, SoccerCon? We couldn't... no, Katsu, because the connection was so bad we couldn't take digital or we couldn't take Square. So she said cash only. More Posca pen. I'm trying it out still trying to get used to it. And then I love paper. I love patterns, and so I wanted to preserve it. So I like fucked around. This one I was playing with gouache paint, and I accidentally pressed the tube too hard, and it like splurted, I guess. And so I was like, I can't waste this, and so I just like hurriedly put it in my sketchbook. And I did not realize that acrylic gouache or whole vein acrylic gouache dries into plastic, and so it doesn't blend after it's dried. So yeah, it's a bit of a learning curve. More sketches for like little hand puppets that I wanted to do. These seem a little bit too ornate, but the drawings are still cute, so I want to hold on to it. My OC, the Fae. I realized that initially I didn't have a like wide enough color range to color even my own OCs who have dark skin, so I had to rectify that and pick up more colored pencils from the art store. I still think that I'd like to get more just to have a bigger range, because I have like OCs of different hues, so I would like to be able to draw them or fill them in. But yeah, the background colors, my friend was, or not my friend, my baby cousin, she has a better knack for colors than I do. So I was like, tell me what colors I should use. And so I just I looked up a palette with the colors that she gave me, and I just like did that. So that probably would have just been a white background. More merch designs. These came out as stickers, characters being picked up by like utensils like chopsticks. Garlic. I think I was just fuddling around with washi tape and this watercolor crayon that I bought. So I did like splotches, because like the watercolor crayon, you make the mark and then you use like a brush and water and you kind of blend it out. It's not a clean blend, but on this paper I don't think it would be, because it's Moleskine, so it's very smooth. But I took the splotches and I just drew my OCs in them. So some of these OCs are from middle school, high school, college. I think the most recent one would be LaFay. And then college, high school, junior high, college, yeah. And then more attempts at merch designing, and then just free drawing, I guess. Trying to use up the last pages of my sketchbook because there's only that much left. Yep, child, one of those like silk dancer outfits, I guess. This, I was still trying to get used to Posca pens. I don't know how to pick colors, or I'm trying to learn how to pick colors better. So I went to YouTube and I typed up like, I think Posca color palette or something like that, or Posca art challenge or something like that. And I found a few videos by other artists on YouTube. So I think Zakura for that one, I'm a Wonder, and then Megaron. I didn't copy the drawing, but more so the palette and the style that they used. I don't know how everyone does this so like intuitively. For me, it does not come naturally like line arting does, like black and white line art mark making. That feels more natural. But I would like to learn how to more intuitively pick colors. Yeah, and then my OCs, the Witch Hunter, cursed to smile forever unless he can undo the curse. Media OC, the Fae, and then the witch in the background. I just wanted to see if I could still do a full 2-page spread, because in another sketchbook that I had, or in the past, I was trying to use up my black markers or just not be afraid of using up my black pens. So it was a challenge to see if I could still do a 2-page spread, can still draw my OCs, and can use up some of my materials. Post-it note drawings. I did these without a pencil underlayer, so they look kind of janky, but I was at this point, there's only like, there's nothing left, and I'm like, I need to fill the space. This is a Posca pen suit, Moschino pre-fall 2022. Yeah, I thought that the color pattern was really interesting, so I wanted to try to replicate it, but doing this with Posca pen was so challenging because I have to wait for it to dry or else they start blending. And just the texture, it seems, it looks so simple. Like Posca art looks like it would be so simple, but there is some work that goes into it. So I am always humbled by new materials. But yeah, my favorite Persona Pro tag, Soji Seta, Persona 4. And this is like my scrap page. Anytime I was trying to test out a color, I usually just like ran it over the back pages. And then I figured like, oh, I should just use them again and make more drawings out of it. So it's very chaotic, but I was also just very glad to be done with a sketchbook completely, because I mean, there's nothing left. I managed to fill this entire thing. So it took, I mean, if I go by 2016 and then 2022, it's about, what, 5 years? Something like that. I can't do the math, but I mean, I really started taking it more seriously, I think, in 2019, going into 2022. So this kind of also includes COVID. But yeah, I'm really pleased, I guess, that I was able to fill this. This is my chunkiest sketchbook that I've done so far. I have others in the past that I've done, but none of them have gotten like this wrinkly. Which I don't know if people want their sketchbooks to be wrinkly, but for me, it feels very like a friend told me that my sketchbooks look lived in. There's something satisfying about it, like seeing especially in the latter half. Like this is, I think, around the time that I started talking to my baby cousin. She's also like into anime, but she like lives in the deep south where like no one really cares about that stuff. And so like talking to her, it kind of like makes me, like, we both show each other our sketchbooks, and so it kind of inspires me to use more color and be more creative. So I'm very grateful that I guess chatting with her has allowed my sketchbook to get a little bit even more wrinkly. But yeah, I've already started I finished this one I think in March, so I've started my other one. It's, I think also, it's like a fake Moleskine, but the design was made by a friend. So once I finish that, once I start working through all the sketchbooks I've collected from conventions and stuff like that, I would like to start working in more like actual mixed media sketchbooks that are meant for this material, because as much as I like the wrinkly bits, it's hard to play with materials and not know like how versatile they are when I'm only using them on like thin, smooth paper. So yeah, hopefully I can finish this. I'm halfway through my current sketchbook, so I'm very glad that I can experiment. But I don't know if I'll finish the rest of it by next year. But if I do, obviously I will try to film it and share it. But yeah, hopefully, I don't know if that was interesting or if it was just a monologue, but I really appreciate, I guess, everyone or anyone who stopped by to take a look. Hopefully, if there's some inspiration to be had from this, that would be great. I also just love watching people's sketchbook tours on YouTube as well, so that's what inspired me to share. But yeah, hopefully I can use this as motivation also to keep drawing anyway. But thank you.